This is Luke from Gen Z and Jason from Rapid Graphite, and we're going to be going over today just a little bit into the research space that's happening in WA and how that's impacted on the graphite side, the synthetic development, all researched here in Western Australia, and then other opportunities for research into not only the lithium space, but just other projects of interest that are happening on here. So you started off as a member of the HDR community at Curtin, and that was back in 2018, if I was believing.
Yeah. So started doing work with Curtin as part of a master's degree that later got converted into a PhD in physics. And we were sort of blue skies research, just trying to understand why it's so difficult to make synthetic graphite, which requires heating to 3,000 degrees Celsius. And there was a fundamental question for us. Thermodynamics, the base sort of science aspect of it, suggests that it should be easy to make synthetic graphite. However, in the real world, in the experiments, it's incredibly difficult. Yeah.
So we were talking previously again, like the difficulties that you guys had, you'd seen from the thermodynamics perspective, it should have been easier than it was. From that, then brought out your research project, which you then sought to fruition. Then you finished your PhD in the topic.
Yeah, so finished the PhD in the topic and had developed, we had identified why it was so hard, the key elements that prevent graphite from forming, and then developed catalyst approaches to sort of make it a bit easier to make synthetic graphite. And from there with Curtin, we sort of started to interact with the Curtin commercialization department and went on this journey of transitioning from this academic researcher doing a PhD, writing sort of publications for
purely
the
theoretical kind of.
Doing things like that to working out how to make a business out of it, and working out how to still being rigorous academic and wanting to
have the academic weight behind the publications.
But working out how to make a business out of the academic world and the research that we had done as well.
So obviously your project is not the only carryover that, the academic work being done at Curtin and other universities around WA has had carryover into the industrial sectors. If I'm recalling correctly, the program that you worked this through was with Trailblazer at Curtin.
That's correct.
Could you tell us a little bit about them, what they do?
Yeah, so Trailblazer, it's a federal program incentivised to bring out technologies from universities and deploy them into market. So it's an incentive to get industry and university collaborating and working together. Opportunities for students and academics to work on real world problems and get them solved and out into the world.
Yeah. So I suppose from here at Gen Z, this has been a big interest to us because I think one of the most important problems that we face in our day-to-day work is then trying to see how our cells perform in these extreme events. So seeing how they perform right at the edge of what their warranted operation is, or even beyond that, and seeing what the ramifications would be. One of our points of interest is seeing that there is an academic research body here that we'd like to engage with. It's the idea of using these independent sources such as Curtin and other universities around WA to provide extra research. And this is not the first time this has happened. I mean, you were talking about, and one of our previous discussions, the National Battery Institute. Now, whilst that isn't an academic institution foray, it is one of these external bodies that is doing this cutting edge research into lithium chemistries in Australia, which has been a really big interest to us. And I think one of the things we talked about earlier was engaging students. So what's the idea of how do these students as members of the university engage with these industry programs to start showing and how those contributions work?
Yeah, so having a tour, being shown around the Gen Z facilities here, really impressed with the work that's going on, and sort of the academic in me, or the kid that was starting his PhD back in 2018 would have loved to have a place like this to come and collaborate with in terms of being able to get hands-on with problems that industry's facing and working and seeing how they get solved. So universities do it all the time, and I'm someone that loves to speak out and say that industry should engage with universities. Australia has some of the world's brightest minds, and we're fantastic at solving problems.
Creating them too.
So for students wanting to get engaged, students get around some of your academics, your professors that are in your classes, the people that you're teaching, and for industries wanting to access the skills and capabilities. Like I said, we have some of the brightest minds in the world here locally in Australia. Industry, reach out to universities, bring some of your problems to them, and see there's a whole avenue of different ways in which you can shape a research project with a university. And it's a win-win for all.
Yeah, exactly, right. It's the idea that we can have these independent reviews and research that is really like academically rigorous, be performed on products that then that we internally hosting the research to be done in ways that can give us benefit, but also, as we said, it gives the academic reward to the students as well. So we'd get ideas of publications, research return, and all these other important things that can help stream this connection between industry and university.
It goes a long way in terms of building up the ecosystem around lithium-ion batteries.
Of course, yeah.
It's really obvious when you look at how a lithium-ion battery is made and all the parts that go into it. It's not just one skill set. It's a whole system that is required to assemble to make what is a small product that enables everything for our everyday lives, really. So, that ability to interact with universities is about sharing the knowledge and getting the whole across-the-board ecosystem built so that we can sort of take Australia into the green energy transition.
Yeah, exactly, and take it in a way that is both like safe and sustainable for the future, but also, as you know, like that sovereign development capability, not relying on the information that's coming from like sources overseas. Because I mean, like one of the biggest things, we don't have cell manufacturing anywhere in Australia. You mentioned previously, like we've done small batch testing for local sort of stuff, but we'll never be able to cross that bridge unless we have the academic rigorous or the experienced personnel in Australia to help us then like educate and guide that process forward. And the really important step that we've seen here at Gen Z is then trying to build that connection with these academic bodies and get all that exchange of information going.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. This has been Luke at Gen Z and Jason at Rapid Graphite. It's been a pleasure talking to you about the connection between the academia and the industry. And thanks again.
Cheers.